Welcome to part 2, Publisher Rocket's keyword search feature. In this video, we're going to explore the keyword search feature and discuss what it can do for you, as well as how to best use its information for your book. So let's begin by doing a keyword search. In order to conduct a keyword search, we either select the keyword search here or here. This will bring up a search box where you can type in an initial keyword phrase, book idea, or just a general description you think shoppers would use when looking for your kind of book. The more broad of a term you put in here, the more suggestions Rocket can give you based on Amazon's information and vice versa. Next, select whether or not Rocket should focus on book data or ebook data here. Now that you've entered this in, just click Go Get 'em Rocket. Publisher Rocket will now get to work finding book idea suggestions and keywords based on what you typed in and selected, and list them all below. The keywords presented are based on known phrases that shoppers have typed into Amazon while looking for their next purchase, as well as Google search terms. Although Google searches are very different than Amazon searches, these can still be very useful suggestions because they aren't dependent on previous Amazon success. Sometimes Google can suggest new keywords that authors haven't thought of before or aren't very competitive, and give you an opportunity to discover a new market on Amazon that Amazon didn't suggest. And thanks to Publisher Rocket's estimated Amazon searches per month number, you can now know which Google keyword suggestions might be a great addition to your book or a bad one. Now that we have a list of phrases, go ahead and look through that list for any that would pertain to your book idea or to the book in which you are searching for keywords. If you find one, click Analyze to populate the numbers for that keyword phrase. Now that we understand how Publisher Rocket helps to gather keyword suggestions and how to get the numbers for each, let's look at the numbers it provides and learn about how to interpret them. The first is the number of competitors. This is the total number of books that will show up for an Amazon search using that keyword, and thus gives you an idea of how popular or targeted that term is. However, just because the number of competitors that ranks for that term is high does not necessarily mean the keyword phrase is too competitive. In truth, for us to benefit from a keyword and get our book seen by shoppers, we want to make sure our book can show up on the first page of results for that Amazon search, if not in the top 5 books shown. Here's a graph that can help explain this. As you can see, the top 5 books get most of the clicks when people search for that term. So in order to benefit from a keyword phrase, we need to ensure we can beat the top 5 books and rank there. That's why we created the competition score. This number goes from 0 to 100, with 0 being very easy and 100 being extremely hard. Basically, it does all the hard work for you and figures out exactly how difficult it would be to compete for that term. It analyzes the top 5 books that show up for that keyword and uses things like the popularity of the books, the fame and strength of the authors, whether or not the keywords are in the title or subtitle, the number of reviews and review grades, the age of the books, whether or not they're on Kindle Unlimited, and more. So what's a good number? Well, that really depends on you and your platform. If you're a new author with no email or fans, then it's probably best to stick to 40 and below. If you're a pretty seasoned author with some email subscribers and decent skills at advertising like AMS or Facebook, then 65 and below is pretty good. However, if you're someone with a large following, email subscriber list, and you've been doing this for a while, then 90 and below is good to go. As you can see with this number, you can now easily compare 2 keywords and see which one will be relatively easier to rank for and by how much. The next set of numbers is the average monthly earnings. This averages the top 5 books' monthly earnings that rank for that keyword and provides it here. If this number is too low for you, then it means one of 2 things. Either A, there isn't much of a market for this keyword term and thus low sales, or B, there is a market, but the market isn't fully pleased with the books that are shown to them. So how do we know which one is which? Well, that's where the estimated Amazon searches per month number comes in handy. With this number, you now know how many people are typing in a word or a phrase into Amazon. Basically, you can quickly see if a keyword really does have a market or really will get Amazon shoppers to see your book. Before this number, authors were left guessing and hoping that the keywords they chose actually did get searched. Okay, now that we've covered the keyword phrases and the individual numbers, let's show how using this information we can get a complete picture of what's going on in the market and make better decisions as authors. At the time of this recording, I found the following numbers for fiction romance and then exported the data, something we'll cover later, and organized them to highlight some points. First, let's look at these two terms here, which were found by Rocket using Amazon Shopper data: second chance romance and second chance romance with baby. You may be saying to yourself that second chance romance with baby must have been like a typo, but it isn't. It actually makes sense. When we search for terms, we typically throw grammar out the window and randomly add things that best describe what we're looking for. In this case, a significant amount of shoppers typed in second chance romance, but then at the last second added with baby. If you're not familiar with this type of romance, don't worry, neither was I. But second chance romances center on a story where the spouse has died or left and the other spouse is left to pick up the pieces and find love again. However, as we see with data from Publisher Rocket, there is a market that wants second chance romance stories, but specifically wants the spouse to have a child, and thus the romance needs to be centered around a mother finding love again. As we can see from the data, there is a significant amount of monthly searches for this term. The competition is much lower than some of the other terms, and books on this subject are selling very well. This would make for a great keyword if your book was about this, or a great book idea if you were looking to write in this area. Let's look at another example. In this case, just looking at the differences in types of romances, we see that many of these terms are very competitive. However, I want to specifically look at rich man romance. If you were just to look at the monthly earnings and number of competitors like other book software shows you as key indicators for success, you'd be led to believe that this is an incredible keyword. However, thanks to Amazon searches per month, we know this isn't a good keyword at all. The books that rank for that term in Amazon are making money, but they definitely aren't making money from that keyword because little to no people type it in. Instead, those books are making sales from other keywords and other marketing efforts. As you can see with these numbers, you can quickly tell if books are making money, if there is an active market searching using that keyword on Amazon, and how hard it would be to beat the competition. Now, imagine what it would be like trying to figure out your target keywords without this information. Not sure if your targeting even gets searched for, or whether or not it has a market. By the way, if you'd like to export that information from the keyword feature, no problem. Just click the export button here, and then tell your computer where you want it to save, and voila, you've got your data. If you'd like to learn more about how to find better nonfiction keywords, fiction keywords, or how to rank better for your target keywords, be sure to check out our extra resources next to this video in the tutorials section. So, this concludes our introduction to the keyword search feature of Publisher Rocket, where we learned how to find Amazon keywords and learned about their numbers. In the next video, we'll dive deeper into the competition analyzer feature. I'll see you there.